If a motion to revoke is filed, you're looking at 20 years in the prison.
This is a choice that he made.
Deep down inside, you know whether the person you're hanging with is a good person or not. All right, are the parties ready?
Defense ready, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2026 CR 000426 and 2026 CR 000424, State versus Jose Ismael Salazar. Can I have parties announced for the record?
State.
Robert Ariana for the defendants.
All right. So we had a beginning to this hearing. There were several documents that were submitted to the court through email, and there were no objections to the court reading those. So I read those over the break. There was no objection to the court reviewing the PSI and TAP evaluation. So I reviewed the PSI and TAP evaluation. So as previously stated, and cause number 2026 CR 000424, according to your plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 2 years in the state jail facility. This will run concurrent with 2026 CR 000426. And in cause number 2026 CR 000426, according to your plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years to the lesser included offense of robbery, and it's to run concurrent with 2026 CR 000424. And in each of the cause numbers, the state is opposed to your applications. Are there any corrections or additions to the PSI report from either party?
No.
Not from defense, Judge.
Okay. All right. Any witnesses, state?
There's nothing to state, but we do have big facts.
All right. Any witnesses?
Yes, Judge.
All right. You may call your first witness.
Defense calls Mr. Patterson. Patterson.
You're back against the counter.
Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. You can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up because the court reporters have to hear. All right. If you state your name for the record.
My name is Lloyd Patterson.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Patterson, can you tell the court where you work?
I currently am CEO of the Urban Apostles.
Can you tell the court what Urban Apostles is?
Apostles is a nonprofit organization that provides reentry services to justice and youth.
How long have you been at this role?
Well, I've been mentoring for about 20 years, but the Urban Apostles has been in existence for 4 years in the state of Texas.
Okay. And mentoring for 20 years, can you tell me about the position you held prior to Urban Apostles?
I work for Recovery, Rise Inspire Academy to be exact.
Okay. What did you do with Rise Recovery and Rise Inspire Academy?
At Rise Inspire Recovery coach and a gang intervention expert.
Okay. Can you describe to the judge what the mission statement for Urban Apostles is?
Our mission statement clearly states to reach the so-called unreachable and so-called unteachable, transforming perceived community asset liabilities into community asset.
What services does this organization provide?
Intervention and prevention services. Our intervention services are surrounded around justice impacting young people. We walk them through a curriculum. We do not conflict resolution, but we resolve conflict, meaning we try to get them to identify conflict before it occurs and then take the off-road. We also provide them with substance use disorder services if they show the early symptoms of substance use disorder. We also provide reentry services, and we also provide gang debriefing services.
Provide opportunities for job training or job placement.
We do. We not only do we provide opportunities for them to place in jobs, we also provide opportunities for them to be mentors and to find their own voice.
Okay. Has your organization worked with the courts or probation departments before with placing participants?
Yes, we currently have an agreement in place with Bayard County Juvenile Probation, and they refer young people to us, and we walk them through the process of our program. Our Apostles group, which is peer mentors leading peers.
Okay. Roughly how many young people have in the program has the program worked with so far?
Maybe 50 to 55.
And what kind of outcomes have you seen?
amazing. We have an 87% success rate as far as helping juveniles get off probation, complete drug court, enroll in higher education, universities, and or military.
Okay. Can you describe generally what has made the program effective for participants with backgrounds similar to Jose?
First thing that we impress upon them is that there is no savior. They must be the hero of their own story.
Okay. How did you come to know Jose?
Jose came, when I first met Jose, he was traveling through a difficult period in his time, in his life. So he ended up at Rise Inspire Academy, which was the school attached to Rise Recovery.
Did they refer them to you, or is that where you met him?
That's where I met him. And then he was referred to be on my caseload by the licensed social worker there based on the demographics of his cases.
Have you assessed him for the program with Urban Apostles?
I did. He came into Urban Apostles shortly after this case, I believe, occurred. And then at that time, we reassessed him. Originally, we assessed him at Rise Inspire Academy. However, we assessed him using their tools.
Okay. And after your assessment, what is your impression of him?
My original impression, my first assessment of Jose was that there was 3 forms of enablers that we measured. We measured the family enabler, the personal enablers, and the community enablers. We scored highest in family enablers as a direct result of the ACEs based on the abandonment issues and the disappearing father. And then the community is where he scored highest next because of the community that he lived in. Although it's situated on the northwest, it is one of those pockets of low income or poverty within the northwest. So it doesn't enjoy all of the greater financial successes of the area that he was reared in.
If the court places Jose on community supervision, what specifically could Urban Apostles provide him with or assist him with?
Well, the court has already trusted Urban Apostles to some extent because we testified on his behalf when you put him on monitor. And so we have provided him with work opportunities. We've also provided him with opportunities to grow his own voice. Even though he can't move around a lot, we've had Zoom meetings which allowed him to participate. He's come to some social events even prior to being put on monitor. So what we would do moving forward is he would still be a member of our program. We would still support him in every way possible to encourage him to shake the generational curses, remind him that he is not the circumstances he was born into, and he excel in his life, especially in the higher education. We believe in education for liberation.
Would services also include continued job placement or support with his current employment?
Yeah, we will continue to use it. Earlier, I stated that one of our biggest objectives in contact with justice impacted youth was turning perceived community liabilities into community assets. What that means is after he has completed a certain amount of time within our program, learned our curriculum, he then carries the message to the people behind him in junior high school and elementary.
Okay. Would this also include counseling, and if so, what kind?
Mentoring all the way through 24. And there's situations of transformation and recovery is not a linear event. So all of the complexities that may go in, that made up his character from the ACEs, as those are revealed, we refer him out to higher level of care if necessary.
Okay. How would the program coordinate with probation officers or report to the court if needed?
Even now, what we do is we have an open line of communication, first of all. And probation is invited to all of our events to participate if they would like. And then where they're struggling or we can bridge the gap between him and probation, we also do that.
Based on your experience and your assessment of Jose, do you think he's a good candidate for community supervision?
I think Jose's a good candidate for community supervision for a couple of reasons. Number one, he scored highest in family enablers. That situation no longer exists in his home. His mother took care of that. Secondly, his community enabled. His mother took care of that by moving to a location in Kirby into a multi-family community. And so with those two things off the board, I believe that his own ambition, he graduated from high school of his own accord. Like he left Rising Fire Academy without a high school diploma. He enrolled us in SAU. He got a high school diploma. He continues to work with us and for us, even in volunteer capacity. I know that he's not here because of anything good or any type of conduct that would be considered acceptable. However, as a young person, to derail them now and not use incarceration or punitive measures, if not necessary, transformation doesn't really happen in those environments. In my experience, and his best shot of being a productive member of society is for him to remain in society.
Yes. All right, I have a question,
That's me.
if there are no objection. All right, so I'm familiar a little bit with your program, but with regards to Mr. Salazar, how long would he be allowed to stay in your program or have some sort of supervision through your program?
Till he was 24 years old. So they moved from teen to young adult to adult. And we try to transition them through the same exact way by finding transitional housing, sober housing, and then plugging them in with community resources. Education is our primary goal with people like Jose.
Okay, so he'll be supervised by you all if I grant his application until he's 24.
Yes, ma'am.
And then how do you move them to the part of their life where you signified as young adulthood?
Okay, so when they move to young adult, that's really the age between 18 and 21. They have adult responsibilities, but not complete responsibility yet. And so at that time, we also realized that the neurosciences, his brain is still developing, he's still going through a learning process. So we support him in every way we can, especially with our partners over at Emotion Wellness.
And I'm so sorry to go out of order. How old is your client?
18,
Okay, so he's currently 18.
18 in May.
Okay.
I have a few questions I'd like to ask this witness if
Sure.
the court will allow. How many people are in your program or in process right now?
17.
Okay. And what kind of repercussions are there to keep them on track in the program?
Well, that's kind of difficult to say. Most of the disciplinary stuff must come from the parent or whoever the guardian is. Almost never, how do I say it? The treatment can't be the punishment. So we do not suspend them from our group, but we will suspend them from activities, like activities in jet skiing and things like that. But the group itself is never used as punitive measure.
Okay. And is this in I'm correct for it, this is in compliance with the best practices?
Yeah, this not only is it in alliance with the best practices, but I actually wrote those curriculums that most of us use today for gang intervention, violence prevention, really difficult young people.
Okay. So he would be in the program till he was 24. Is that right?
So the goal, we will mentor him until he's 24, but I hope we will remain friends for the rest of my life.
What if, let's say, he wanders off the narrow path? What kind of measures would you have to bring him back into compliance with the program?
First thing we do is peer accountability. He has a mentor. He's in the courtroom. He graduated from high school this year. He's also very familiar with Jose. So first of all, we send a peer to him. We send a peer to bring him back. Once they come back to us, then we use compassion-focused therapy. Because we're all justice impacted ourselves, we have a level of a tolerance. Like we can tolerate them a little bit longer than most people. And because of that, we can meet them where they're at. Like most people, if they do something wrong, they get condemned and pushed to the side. We've been there and we've done that. And because of that experience, our compassion can rise to a level where we can tolerate them much longer and work with them. We go get them wherever they was at.
Has anyone ever been ejected or basically taken out of the program?
We're all exclusively inclusive. We're never exclusive. So when you mean taken out of the program, have we ever kicked anyone out of the program?
Yeah.
There are red lines. There are definitely hard boundaries. Gang activity anywhere around us, weapons anywhere around us. drugs anywhere around us, gangs, drugs, and violence. It's a hard line, zero tolerance.
And how would you be able to determine that one of those red lines has been crossed?
Several different ways. One of the things we use is an honesty circle. So everything that you say in this honesty circle, you can't get in trouble for. You can be held accountable. But if you can come to us, be honest with the group, then the group itself will come up with what those measures should be. Normally, social media, young people live their lives on social media today. So do our peers, so do their peers. So when they become in trouble, we go, first thing we do is try to get them back in the boat.
Okay.
After we get them back in the boat, now we try to figure out cause and effect. What led to you venturing off? It's not a linear process. So it could have been anything. It could have been a contact with the disappearing father or parent trying to reconnect. It could have been running into previous gang members, which caused them to get flustered. Now he harmed himself. So because we have that same experience, most of those experiences is them. Our level of tolerance can rise to a point of compassion where we won't condemn them, but we will hold them accountable and try to bring them back into compliance with the growth plan we put together.
So it sounds like whatever's said in this honesty circle stays in the honesty circle.
You're not still drug, you can't get in trouble. I didn't say it necessarily stays there. Like every situation, we don't have a cookie cutter method to perform our job because every one of them is unique with his own set of enablers.
So if there was admissions of drug use, or they caught a new case or a felony or something like that, that would have to be reported to probation, right?
If they're on probation, we make clear to them at the very beginning what that relationship looks like between us and probation.
Okay.
Like we bring them on board. We bring them on board with what we're doing. Holding them accountable does not mean that we're not going to be honest with probation officer and parents. And we, and then each situation is different, right? We have to decide which war we have to fight because our ultimate goal is to get them across the finish line. Sometimes that's a little unorthodox.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just one question. If you knew that Jose violated his probation or committed another crime, would you report him?
If I knew he committed another crime, I would encourage him to go down there and discuss it with his probation. Not only would I encourage him, I'd give him a ride.
Okay.
No further questions, Judge.
Further questions?
No, nothing further for this witness, Judge.
For coming down, and thank you for what you're doing in the community. Young people need a lot of help these days. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more witness, Judge. Jackie Rios.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jacqueline Rios
All right, you may proceed.
Where do you currently reside?
in Converse.
Is that in Bexar County? Is that in San Antonio?
It's still considered Bexar County, yes.
Okay. What is your relationship to Jose?
He's my son.
And right now, does Jose live with you?
Yes.
How long has he been living with you?
This time 5 years.
Okay. Does anybody else live at your house?
No, it's just him and I.
Does Jose have any other siblings?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Can you tell us why you are here today?
To be a representative for my son.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Okay, all
All
right.
right, so let me just, for a moment, let me cut through your nervousness, all right, a little bit. One, whatever you say to me, whatever my decision ended up being in this case, is not your fault for whatever you said, right? I'm just here to gather information.
Thank you.
Okay. So nothing that happens, my decision will not be your fault. I just need you to tell me the truth because I'm trying to get some insight to him. Believe it or not, my main job or obligation is to make sure that the community is protected. If I had a crystal ball, and if I had a crystal ball that says, oh, this person is coming up here, the state is opposed to their probation, and I look at the crystal ball and the crystal ball says, hey, if you give this person probation, they're going to commit this crime, then that would be easy for me. I'm like, they're going to prison. So I don't have a crystal ball. So that's why I try to get as much information as possible so I can interpret what's in the STIPs, what's not in the STIPs, and what's being presented to me. Okay?
Okay.
So no need to be nervous.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Judge. What's your relationship like with Jose?
Has gone from parent child to now where he kind of has to take care of me going through medical issues.
Can you tell us about your current health situation?
I have stage 3 stomach cancer.
What role does he play in your care and treatment?
He takes me to my appointments, helps around the house, and reminds me of all the meds.
How long has he been active in this role?
About a year.
How has this responsibility affected him?
I think he had to man up, and fortunately, like I said, I took a little bit of what was left of his childhood away, but he has definitely stepped up with me.
Let's talk a little bit about Jose's education. So far, what's the highest level of education he's achieved?
He is a freshman at the University of Incarnate Word.
Did he graduate high school?
He graduated high school at 16.
And when you say graduated high school at 16, how do you do that?
So ordinary school didn't work for him. So I found him a charter school. That's when he went to SOAR. SOAR was going to take too long. And he was ready to move forward. So then I found him the SA Youth, and he was able to do high school quickly there and graduated. And then immediately afterwards, he registered for spring at the University of Incarnate Word.
What was he studying at the University of Incarnate Word?
He is getting a degree in business.
Was he on any kind of financial assistance?
Yes. We have financial aid and a waiver.
What's a waiver?
A waiver is for employees that work at the university, get some of the tuition taken off.
Okay. Was he on any kind of scholarships?
Yes, he got a provost scholarship, which is actually one of the highest besides the president's scholarship. So he went in with a 3.4 GPA, and he was doing good, obviously, until he made the mistake. And
Well, not a mistake, choice.
choice, the decision. And he was put on academic.
Okay. And just to be clear, can you tell what he was arrested for?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know
Just what you, I know you don't know the legal words, but what do you?
Robbery.
robbery
Okay.
and using a car without permission.
Okay.
Okay. What are his plans once this matter, this case is behind him one way or the other? What are his plans?
He starts school on the 24th. He's working. He also has a pending job at Toyota. So I'm hoping he'll be so busy. The only thing he comes home for is to help me around the house or to go to bed
Okay. Going back to school, where at?
at the university.
All right. We talked about jobs. Where is he currently working now?
He works for Lloyd.
Do you know what he does, more or less?
It's more like an ushering / security for special events that they have.
Okay. Do you know how long he's held that job with Lloyd?
I think 2 years.
And overall, how is he doing? Has he been fired?
No.
Okay. All right. Does he have any volunteer work or community activities?
So at the school, it's a Catholic university, so they are mandatory to volunteer for the community and at the school. And he's actually just started and already has 200 hours there.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about going back to the beginning. Where was Jose born?
He was born in Edinburgh, Texas.
And did he stay? How long was he in Edinburgh before he moved to San Antonio?
He was pre-K. Pre-K is when we moved back. I went back and forth with his dad, and every time we ran, we just ended up circling back.
Was Jose with you this entire time, or was he with other people?
So when we came back, when he was 3, we stayed for a year, and then we moved back to the valley where we were living wasn't safe for him. So I let him stay with an aunt of mine, and he stayed there for until grade or 4th grade, and then we moved back to San Antonio. It's been back and forth.
Sorry, just to interrupt a little bit. You had mentioned something about, you said something that you would run and then you would move back. What do you mean by you
I
would
was
run?
in an abusive relationship for 30 years.
So my next question was, you said it wasn't safe for Jose. Why wasn't it safe?
Because his dad is an addict. And there was times where he felt like he needed to protect me.
Who would feel like who's junior?
Jose,
How old was he more or less when this
the
happened?
first time he saved me he was 3.
When did Jose ever leave the house because of his father?
Yes,
How long was he gone?
months.
Where would he sleep?
And he slept in cars. He slept with his friends. I'm not sure.
When did he finally come back?
I'm 15.
Why did he come back?
He was tired of living on the streets and doing wrong and decided he wanted to do right. And I did right by him by making his father leave.
Does he have any other supportive relationships besides yourself and Lloyd?
He has come very close to the advisor that we have at the university that follows him. He has my mother, who is a doctor. He has his brothers, and he has me.
If the court were to place Jose on probation, would he continue to live with you?
Yes,
What support would you be able to provide him?
I would make sure that he goes to all his appointments and guide him.
But whose responsibility is this after that?
His
Jose violated or broke the law, would you turn him in?
I'm the first one to call.
As a mother, what would you hope for in this case?
I love my son and I want the best for him. And I know his decisions caused a lot of people troubles, but I know that he's ready to do good. And I believe that if punishment is needed because he needs to be accountable, but I believe the jail is not what he needs and actually would stunt his moving forward in life.
Counsel witness.
Few questions, Judge.
Yes.
I'm the prosecutor. I'm just gonna be asking you a few questions. I know you're nervous. I'm gonna have to ask some probing questions.
Okay.
For that, I apologize.
Okay.
I just ask you to be honest with me.
Okay.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. So Jose is your son.
Yes.
He's your biological son?
Yes. Years. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you, so you said that when you were in an abusive relationship,
Yes.
that Jose would come in to save you.
Yep.
Do you think that gives him like, if a woman's in trouble, he needs to be safe?
I do feel he has compassion as far as that goes. Yes.
Has Jose ever been arrested before this?
Yes.
How many times?
I'm not sure.
Would it be over 5? It would be under 5.
Yes.
So let's go through, does Jose suffer, to your knowledge, from any kind of mental health or emotional health issues?
I know that he deals with depression and mentally, no, he's never been diagnosed. And I have taken him to counseling and other sorts.
When do you take him to?
He's
Oh,
constantly,
he doesn't know.
Yes. Yes, whether it be court ordered or on his own,
Right.
just so he can have somebody to talk.
Okay. So in the PSI that's already in front of judge, Jose says that he has not been diagnosed with any mental or emotional.
Besides the counseling.
How many other children do you have? What are their ages?
26 and 24.
Okay, so if something were to happen today, then they would be able to help you out with your treatment for.
They live on campus at the universities that they go to, so I don't have anybody. So my middle child goes to the University of Edward as well, but not here. We have, I'm sorry, my ears. We have 7 other schools.
Okay.
So he's abroad. My oldest son, he doesn't have his stuff together, so he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a way to get to me. I moved so far away from. I mean, it feels like a lifetime away from where we used to live. We're out in the Converse area.
Okay.
So it would be hard for him to do that. But I'm assuming I would have to ask friends and whoever else.
Okay. Let me ask you, let's go to that night. Do you know how Jose got the stolen car?
No, I actually, I had just had surgery like 2 days before that happened. So I took meds, he gave me dinner, and he said he was going to bed. So when people came to the house, I didn't even know he had left.
Oh, so he told you he was going to bed, but that was not the truth. He was out doing this robbery. Okay. So you had no knowledge that the car was stolen? You had no knowledge that he was transporting someone to do an armed robbery at the Circle K?
No,
You had no idea that a gun was involved?
no,
You had no idea he ran from the police afterwards?
No.
Earlier you said he had compassion because he's seen a woman in
he has compassion for a lot of things, actually. He helps out his friends. He helps out anybody he can. Even when he only has $1 in his pocket, he gives to the homeless person across the street. That's just who he is.
Do you know that the victim in this case was a woman that he helped commit this robbery on? You do know that?
Yes.
How do you know that? How do you reconcile the report that he has compassion because he's seen you as a woman be abused, but he's out there helping the victimization of other women?
Sir, he is, I know right now he's 18 years old, but he was 17 years old when this happened. He's been through a lot of traumatic things in his life. And I believe that you shouldn't be judged for mistakes. Those are how you grow. That's how you build who you are. That's life. I feel bad. I can't even imagine how it would feel if I was put in that situation, but I still wouldn't wish jail on anybody.
To your knowledge, was he forced to help be the getaway driver for this?
I don't know what.
To your knowledge, if you know, if you don't know, you don't know.
I believe that he didn't go with the intention that that's what they were gonna do.
Would it surprise you to say that when he was interrogated by the police, he admitted to knowing that this robbery was going to happen, was he involved? So this isn't a mistake. This is a choice that he made.
I want him to take credibility of what happened and what he did. Yes.
So talking about credibility, would it surprise you to know that in the victim impact statement, when asked about the incident on offense, he said, "I have no comments. I had 2 bottles of liquor." He reported the use of alcohol at the time of the offense.
Yeah.
Did you also surprise you that when asked about the victim, he says, "I was not the person that actually did any of these crimes because I was there, that was why I was arrested."
Right. So that was 9 months ago. He has sat there and has dealt with not being able to go anywhere, sit in his thoughts. He wasn't allowed to go to church, so we had church at home. With that, he had the counseling and following from Lloyd. Then he has realized that even just deciding to go and do these things with the person, or deciding to leave home when he's supposed to be home, it all has consequences, not just for himself, but for others. I believe that he feels that way.
So only when consequences come in does he start to take rehabilitative action.
No, sir, because he has self-motivated himself before this. This was out of the blue. Something, it's not like he was just doing crimes all along. He was already doing well. This was out of character, out of what his norm was. I don't know if it was the pressure of having to take care of me. I don't know if it was the pressure of his friend telling him he was homeless and didn't know what to do. I don't know.
How can you say you know if when he tells you he's going to bed and he lies to your face while he's out committing an armed robbery? I'll withdraw. We'll pass it.
All right, thank you.
One question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question because I need some clarification. I always reread the stipulations, and this is what the stipulations say. And this is a statement from this defendant. Oh, you can come forward. And this is why I'm assuming that this is not an aggravated robbery, that the state went on a robbery. This is what it says. Jose was read Miranda warning and told me he understood. I then gathered Jose's information as listed above. I asked Jose what happened, and he told me he woke up and his friend came over. Police showed up and he told Nathaniel not to bring heat like this to his house. Jose told me Nathaniel was wearing a shirt and some shorts. Jose stated that his friend's name is Nate, 18 years old, and he's known him for roughly a year. I asked Jose to tell me the truth. Jose then confessed that someone else brought the stolen car over and they picked it up. Jose said he was driving and Nate was in the passenger seat. Jose pulled up to the Circle K and Nate goes inside. Jose stated he did not know what was about to happen. Jose said he was parked in front of the store, 2 spots to the left of the front door. Nate runs back to the car and says, "Go, go, go." Nate then told Jose what he had just did. So Nate and Jose come straight home to the apprehension scene, apartment 802. Jose said he was using a screwdriver to start the car without a key. So he knows the vehicle's stolen because why are you using a screwdriver? Jose goes inside and hid in his room. Jose told me he was wearing a black hoodie and shorts. Jose said no one else was inside the stolen car while he and Nate were inside the stolen car. So I'm just trying to figure out, because of the questions that were asked, it says that, at least it was leaving me with the impression by the questions that were being asked, that he had stated somewhere else that he knew a robbery was going to take place. So where is that so I can view that?
That's going to be in this part in the stipulated evidence.
Right, thank you.
Of course, Judge.
I really need to see this video because this narrative now seems, from Detective John, seems like his narrative is not a narrative. It's what he believes this all means, because the statement from Jose is different from this narrative, and it's listed as a narrative. So is there a statement that says he knew that this person was going in to commit a robbery? Is there a DVD or something?
There is a body cam video of I don't have it on me right now, but do you have the body cam?
I can make.
Yeah. Yes, there is a body cam video of the Miranda. Well, I'm sorry, where he interviews both parties.
Well, I specifically want to know.
Yes, with Jose. Yes, correct, Judge.
Yes, I would like to see it. Did he say he knew this person was going in to commit an aggravated robbery?
I would need to pull up my notes, but yes, I would need to pull the video up right there.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, thank you. Just have a seat. All right, the court is calling 2026 CR 000426 and 2026 CR 000424, State versus Jose Salazar. Can I have parties announced for the record, please?
Robert Ariano for the defendants.
And then you are Mr. Salazar. All right, so where we left off, the court wanted it, the stipulations that the court read stated that the defendant didn't know an aggravated robbery was going to take place. Obviously, based upon the stipulations, he knew it was a stolen vehicle because he's driving the vehicle with a screwdriver. So the court wanted to know, based upon questions that were asked, whether there was a statement from him that said that he knew that a robbery is going to be committed, because in the stipulations, it states that he did not know. So off the record, I was informed by counsel that he never stated that he knew a robbery was going to take place.
Correct. He did not say that. Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to receive that.
Yes, Judge, and that's my mistake, and I apologize for that. We also have, if the court wishes to view a recording of that statement, I've labeled it State Exhibit A, and I've talked to Mr. Rodano. He has stipulated to it. We would like to admit it to evidence pending any objection.
No objection, Judge.
All right. State's exhibit number 8 is admitted to evidence. If you'll give it to the court reporters. All right. Thank you.
Eight.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 2026 CR 000426. Court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is he currently on GPS?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's going to be continued GPS. That will be for tracking, waive fees. And I'm only doing tracking because based upon the testimony that the court received, you're starting school, you have employment, you're dropping your mother off to appointments. And for me to put all those times and dates in it would be insurmountable work for the person who's monitoring the GPS. There is to be no contact with Nathaniel Flores. There's to be continued, I imagine it's treatment with the urban apostles in San Antonio, ISP, IOP. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution, a deduction of 1 hour for every sober support meeting completed. I'm going to require weekly sober support meetings. And you're doing community services through the Catholic Church.
Yes, ma'am.
What do?
I just help around or set up.
All right. Probation, you can accept the community service hours from the Catholic Church. They'll need to provide something in the hours. Probation will give you a sheet on what needs to be provided to them. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Yes. Yes. And and honestly, I don't even know if we need field visits since he's going to be on ISP. What are your thoughts?
No, they're gonna be.
All right, so we'll do ISP then. This is run concurrent with 2026 CR 000424. There's to be no contact with 6402 Days of Vala Road, 78249. And that's the Circle K. And Miss Abrams, I said GPS tracking. When do you finish with everything for your day? What's the latest?
Really all depends, depending on if I have a job that day with Urban Apostles at Skyline, because sometimes it can vary.
What's the latest it ends?
1 in the morning to 2.
Well, you'll have to get approval for that to be out at 1 in the morning or 2. So, Miss Abrams, what time do you want to put for tracking? And the exception will be employment, but he'll have to provide a schedule. He just can't be out there at 1 a.m. So what do you say? All right. So with a 10 p.m. curfew.
Long you want GPS.
Let's see. Let's come back in 4 months and see how he's doing.
And Judge, if I may make one more recommendation.
Yes.
We would also ask for no contact with the complaining witness, Miss Katie Blevins, and I can spell that last name for you.
Okay. Oh, I have it in the, all right. So that's a no contact there. Any other requests?
None, no further. Judge.
All right. Probation, any other requests? And there's to be no possession of firearms or ammunition. And that cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? The trial court certification.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Next, we're moving to 2026 CR 000424. Will sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider with minors, continued GPS tracking, waive fees. That's with a 10 p.m. curfew. The exception will be employment. That will be for 4 months. No contact with Nathaniel Flores. Continued treatment with Urban Apostles, San Antonio, Texas. ISP, 200 hours community service restitution. 1 hour to be deducted for sober support meetings. That's to be weekly. To accept the community service from Catholic Church Charities. This is to run concurrent with your other case, 2026 CR 000426. There's to be no contact with 6402 Days of Allah Road, no contact with Katie Blevins, no possession of firearms or ammunition. And is there going to be restitution in this case?
There's $250 for a cell phone, and then I think deductible for the UUV of $500. And then Circle K had, I don't know if they
Got back.
All right, so, but no, in this case, the unauthorized use or possession of stolen vehicle.
I believe it's 500.
All right, so there's to be a $500 restitution. Who is that to?
It's going to be to Ethan Long.
To Ethan Long. And is that the only restitution?
Also $250 in restitution to Katie Blevins.
All right, and $250 restitution to Katie Blevins. And Miss Abrams, that restitution to Katie Blevins should be in the other cause number. All right, probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea, because I followed your plea, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me explain something to you. And I have to tell this to students in my class at UTSA all the time. Sometimes maybe you don't know what people's plans are, but deep down inside, you know whether the person you're hanging with is a good person or not a good person. In the court of law, it depends on what can the state prove, what can they not prove. But you and I both know deep down inside what was going on. You understand? You have better stay on the straight and narrow. That other case, the robbery case, if a motion to revoke is filed, you're looking at 20 years in the prison. The state made an offer to you where it was a cap of 10. So that means that your punishment would have been capped at 10 years. I gave you deferred adjudication because if a motion to revoke is filed against you, you're looking at 20 years in prison. From here on out, with your life, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself a question. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And anybody, because right now you're on a good path. If there is anybody in your life who sort of makes you think about going astray, that is not a person who should be in your life. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. My understanding, there's victim impact.
There is, Judge.